Welcome to Teacher Talk with Steph and Sean.
Woo!
We are continuing 30 days to understanding the Bible. We're in the Old Testament, in the historical books. And today we are in chapter 9, talking about the kingdom era.
The kingdom era. And I love this period of history because I love anything in the life of David.
Yeah.
I love his story. I love everything in there. Elijah, Elisha, I love when we get into some of their stories as well. So yeah, let's highlight a couple things. First of all, Israel was begging for a king before God wanted to give him one. I actually think, Steph, not everybody agrees with this, that I think God actually was planning to raise up a king because I think he had David in mind. But I think they prematurely wanted one for the wrong reason.
Interesting.
They're like, let's be like other nations. We want a king, and so he's like, okay, here, and didn't work out well.
Yeah. This period of time, it has a lot of ups and a lot of downs.
Yeah.
It's very, very seesaw. Max uses a really interesting example to kind of explain some of the consequences as they made their decisions throughout this period of time. And he uses the example of our toothbrush and cavities, right? Like, we don't want to be in bondage to cavities, right? So we use our toothbrush, but we then are really attached and stuck with our toothbrush, right? Like, I can choose to be free from the bondage of my toothbrush and brushing my teeth,
but
as directed. But my natural consequence of freedom from my toothbrush leads me to be exposed to cavities, right? I can't have it both ways.
Yeah.
And so in the same way, right, Israel wanted freedom and they wanted to look like the other nations and they wanted things, but that came with certain consequences.
Yeah. Paul, later on in Scripture in the New Testament, Paul actually picks up on this concept when he talks about being a slave to sin versus a slave to righteousness. Right. And it's interesting because you're kind of like, well, I don't want to be a slave to anything.
Right, yeah.
But it's if we're really going to live righteously, if we're really going to live this out well, there is an element about this that we're always going to be attached to something. Like, total freedom doesn't exist unless you want to be an anarchist.
Right. Lawlessness is not help anyone.
So you got to decide what you want to be attached to, and herein lies that story. And so you've got the nation of Israel. What did we have? Jeroboam plus 18 other kings. This is kingdom of Israel. They had no righteous kings.
Yeah.
And then Judah got it right some of the time.
Yeah.
They had 8 out of 20 were righteous.
It's not good.
This is not a good track record.
No.
This is these are not good percentages of success.
Yeah.
So wild. So as you're walking this through, just kind of hold on to David.
Yes.
Hold on to David and Solomon, Solomon before he went nuts and idolatrous at the end, but just hold on to the good as you're walking this through.
This is a really significant section and really provides a lot of structure for what Israel looks like going forward, because you have the division between the two groups. And really interesting. A lot happens here.
Yeah. So friends, as always, any questions, comments, or tears as you're reading through these, post those below. We'll come alongside and mourn with you and weep with you. But in the meantime, may you delight in His face as you delight in His word. See you tomorrow.